Hi everyone, Mature Simmer here. So we're continuing our work today in September, first day of autumn. And the next thing on the agenda is rolling the field, which is again something never done. I haven't tried it in FS22. Right, we literally have two choices, and there's no reason to not go with the large one. So that's what we're going to do. Can't paint it. Again, we'll look at the wheels, but Michelin's are just as good as anything else. Can't change that. Good news is it's 24.3 meters. We'll go ahead and buy that. Getting ourselves really close to $4 million. And we'll hop back in the happy tractor and we'll go get it. And we're also going to swing by and bring it in over field 8 because he's got his liquid crates there. I don't know that I would fit, but also, as you can see, we're getting kind of low on fuel, having done a good amount of field work here. So I don't want to run out of gas. At this point, I should be able to avoid buying one of the vehicles that lets me fuel in the field. And the only reason that would change would be if I wasn't paying attention, or whatever you want to call it, and ran out of gas in the field. So I'm going to try not to do that. So that's the other thing we're going to do here, to head over there. But I think once we do this, this is what we can get done today on our farm. If I somehow have more time, what I may take up is take a look and see if the field that's up for auction needs to be plowed, and if so, we'll grab the FSN equipment and head down there and get that work done too. Because I think I'll have, like it or not, I'm going to have more time today than I will tomorrow, and if I don't get it done tomorrow, because the auctions only take a couple days, if someone does buy it, it won't be ready. See, I am curious with that kind of road going out there. It would imply that he's going to do his yard, because I was starting to think, well, maybe he expanded this field a bit and plowed it, but I'm not sure that that's accurate, because then the road would have been gone, because it would have plowed over the road. But you can definitely see it's not for a lack of work on the farm here that we've got it. Sorry, lost my voice there for a second. But it's not for a lack of work. We're not even done with kind of getting our field going, and we're already exceeding 10 hours on the tractor. So definitely been spending a lot of time in the case, which is why it was one of those, like, I'm going to get what I enjoy, what I like, because I know I'm going to be living a lot of my life in it. So like I said, I love the articulated trailers because they're just a lot easier to manipulate. But yeah, so if 7 comes up, clearly that one's got to be plowed. It's got either harvested or withered crop in the field. But here we come onto the shop, and there is our roller set. So actually, before I do that, I'm also going to repair the tractor. I'm sure this will be a nice bill. Okay. I think it's because I need to be kind of in front of the door. I think I pulled too far. Alright. Clearly it's not giving me the trigger. So I know I was here before and did it. So it's somewhere here. Alright, there we go. Wow, almost $16,000 to repair that. And the paint job's now up to $126,000. It was like $80,000 last time, so we're not repainting our vehicle unless somehow we're made to do it. I can run it in bare metal unless it starts to rust, but that's a lot of money to paint a tractor. I can't imagine they cost that much to do that in actuality, but I don't know. It's not like I see tractors that are in terrible shape, so it would seem that that wouldn't be the case, that farmers keep up with it, or the paint just doesn't go bad that fast, because obviously, again, we've used the tractor for 10 hours. I get it's been months of time on the calendar, but I shouldn't need, you know, $250,000 paint job is probably what this is going to be at in a year easily on a tractor. So let's head on. Oh wait, I'm trying to remember where the fuel is. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So yeah, I knew it was here somewhere. I was just like automatically realizing that I was heading to customs, and I'm like, there's no fuel there. But that's right, it's right here. So we'll do that, and then we'll continue on down, like I said, to field 8. So we'll see how many thousands of dollars of fuel this ends up being. Looks like we've got a little bit of a residential area. I didn't really take a look at it too much here. The tractor is filling. You can obviously see the money leaving my bank account. This is not one of the fastest things in the world. Suppose I can turn off the tractor. I don't know if that'll... Oh, actually it does speed things up substantially. Didn't know that. Lesson learned. So fuel your tractor when it's off. It fuels faster. Almost there. Well, not too bad. We paid $1,244 last time, so $1,518 means we're about the same. And, you know, we've got a couple things done on our farm. So we've planted, fertilized, limed. Well, maybe I did come fill it up. No, I think I did it after I plowed, is when I initially did it. Alright, so we've got to get over to our crossing at Field 8. The good news is we continue to get more of the equipment we're going to need for our farm, and we're able to do it early enough now that I can get things over this way instead of having to find how to get around the field without causing damage. And I'm sure Swede's, just like me, is eventually going to have a yard, but I think his focus, with me, I have no choice. I can't do anything to set up my yard right now. because of where I'm choosing to place it. I need to remove trees first. And believe me, I've had some thought of maybe I just go ahead and try to place the mobile home so I can sync the server and do it early, but I would hate to put it down somewhere that I really ultimately don't want. And then, I mean, I think I'd be able to sell it since it's something I'm placing, but, you know, I'd be losing money and I'd never quite be able to have the ground look the same either, so I don't want to do things in areas I don't need to be doing. But anyway, so once again, I could have, I guess I do have the GPS, I just need to change the width. So there we go, that should have done it. And then I know the width of the implement, and we're good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and unfold this, and then I'll go along the island here, and then let's see, I'm assuming it's going to, yeah, there we go. I was going to say it's going to do something else, because at this point it's only as wide as, oh, is it already, like, down? I don't have to lower it? Oh, I guess so. So, because yeah, it doesn't look like we have an option to pick it up, which is strange. All you can do is fold it, but otherwise it's just rolling. Well, that's good to know, I suppose. But I'm just kind of checking as I keep moving. Yeah, this is harder to tell that I've been everywhere, so this is going to be a little bit of a challenge in that regard, because it doesn't really look, well, it may not look any different now that I think about it, because I'm like, is it putting the furrows in the field? But I'm not actually sure that it is. I think that might be from when I was planting, and that the roller's really kind of just doing that. I mean, it's rolling over. I mean, it does appear that there's like some dirt picking up and all, but yeah, the thing here is then that means if I can't pick this up, I have the challenge. I guess it is doing, it's drawing, because now I'm going over where I had gone the other way, and it's leaving it, or, you know, overriding it. You can see it's ahead of the rollers there and creating that kind of setup. So, I mean, it's also good. It's bigger here because, but yeah, if I hit like V, like, nothing happens. So I don't have that option. It's literally just down or not, which means, like, what if I fold? I guess I can do that, but the challenge then becomes, like, do I keep doing this so that I can go faster? Because now at least I can go at speed when I'm repositioning myself, which is kind of obviously what I would like to do. But otherwise I'm stuck going 7 miles an hour, so I'd prefer not to have that be the case. But yeah, the challenge is I can't specifically tell what I've rolled. So this is definitely going to be a map type look at things. And this is definitely more challenging of a job, and one that, I mean, I guess, I don't know if it's a little lighter. It might be. So I suppose that's the difference, but, You know, either way, I'm assuming, I guess we'll see what happens when I get over to the lime area. I'm assuming it's going to leave it limed. It's not going to suddenly say it's not limed and that it's planted or something. I mean, obviously it will have been rolled, but I don't know that it can be rolled before you plant, because if I understand the whole point of rolling is it kind of makes sure that the seeds well tamped down into the ground, and therefore obviously until you have seed in the ground there's not a whole lot to roll over. But we're going to find out in a few moments here, because I do need to be over a bit, because obviously when I was running my GPS line it was this way. So let me change this. Yeah, so it's not redoing the lime. Let me move this over, because basically I need to run in the same direction that I did. So I just need to... There we go. So I think that will give me... let me do this. That's really what I need. Okay. So I'm going to turn around here. Alright. So now we're going to head back, and we're going to do the crossways on the field and get this rolled. So at this point it should start. There we go. Did I somehow miss that? I don't know, maybe it wasn't limed or something. I don't think I missed it. I wasn't away, so... But yeah, there's a lot of work to get done on this. It's interesting because it looks like when we're rolling, those back, the back wheels are off the ground. The rollers are kind of rolling like that. These back ones on the 2 over aren't animated in a way that they roll. Neither is the one behind it. But there's nothing else I can do to load it or to kind of position it differently. So this is what I have. You know, we're going to have a straighter edge now, I assume. Obviously we have a little bit of a jagged edge where I had run the first time. So yeah, best I can tell, there's a little bit, it's almost like the soil's a little lighter, having gone over with rolling. But it's definitely a challenge to see, so it's not something I would easily be able to do visually at night or something. So, you know, I think I'm going to go up the edge of the field here, though, because otherwise I don't have... I'm just not going to have the ability to turn around without going into the other crop. Although I guess I can try this, because it looked like when it did do that, it wasn't like it was matting it down. Yeah, it's going over it. So I guess I can do this, and that'll be okay. And this should be similar to the planter, where if I kind of go further, then it will line up better that way. But yeah, I would definitely need to look at my work time calculator to see if it takes me longer to roll the field than it takes me to plant it. Because this is wider. I mean, it's almost 25 meters compared to 15 meters. So it's like 66, 60%, 66% wider. But I'm also going 4 miles an hour slower. So basically about 33% slower. So does the change in working width improve the situation or not? I don't know. Because obviously at this point it's not like I've done a ton. But this is definitely one of those jobs that takes a long time. So I think you guys have seen me run the field a bit. There's certainly nothing visually happening here. I'm either going to do a time lapse or a jump cut on this, but at this point I don't see a whole benefit of having an exceptionally long video of this, because that's what this is going to be at 7 miles an hour. So I will see you in a bit.
There's nobody else better than me around. You know I'm the type to stand out in a crowd. You might be jealous, but I can't help it now. I'm like a diamond, can't stop me from shining bright. People stop and stare when I am in the sight. I look expensive, yeah, they all want this life. So here I am, look everyone, watch out for me, I'll be the one you want. I'll blow your mind, take you away. You know that there is no way I would change. Oh, everybody looks at me wherever I go. They all know that I love the attention and taking control. Watch over me now, you know I'm ready now. I'm hot as fire, take things higher, yeah, I shut it down. Oh, everybody looks at me wherever I go. All eyes on me. All eyes on me. Look out for me, watch out for me. All eyes on me. All eyes on me. All eyes on me.
Alright, so we're getting near the tail end here of rolling the field. Just a few more, well, it's probably quite a few passes left, but still, in the grand scheme of things, the little bit that's left here is pretty small. So, you may have noticed, it might have been hard to see in any kind of the time lapse or anything, that the rollers definitely behave interestingly, because obviously they're not really digging into the soil, they're just kind of on the soil. And so what ended up happening in some cases is when you turn, they just slide like that, because they get pulled by gravity, I think, and there's no resistance. So from a modeling perspective, it's honestly quite interesting that how they would have had to have built that, because it has to take into effect the slope of the ground based on the angle of attack of the item. So there were one or two places where I basically had to back up or go around and do things over because of how that behaved, because when I looked at the map I could see that the roller really hadn't appropriately interacted with the ground, and it was more like when I was nearing the edge over there by the river is where basically the rollers were kind of coming out of contact with the surface, and then I realized I needed to come at them differently. So it's almost like the situation I used to have with you know, had her on the harvester sometimes in the Ohio map where we had a couple rough spots that went up and down very quickly, and then the header would bounce off the ground and miss a section. So I'd have to come at it differently. So it was similar to that, but in any event, it got worked out, but it's just learning how to use these things. Yeah, definitely takes a little while to get this done. I think it's a 5% yield increase. So again, it's not huge, but you know, once you have the equipment, it's basically easy enough to just go ahead and utilize it. So again, I'm sure it's going to swing down the hill here. There we go. And part of that is because I think I had made the comment at one point that the back wheels are not actually on the ground. So I think that's also part of it, where if I folded it up enough where the back wheels then engaged, it would straighten out a little bit more, because then I think that roller in the back stops being the contact point with the ground. But yeah, it looks like we've got 2 more passes here, and then we'll be done. So that will finish this up. And I did verify, I did take a look. Well, I guess that's not entirely true. Field 17 says it needs plowing, but just because it needs plowing doesn't mean that it's in a state that I need to plow it before the auction. Because if it's doesn't have crop on it and it's not been harvested or whatever, you know, and it's fallow appropriately, so there's no withered crop or harvested stubble, I don't need to touch it, which is kind of what the situation was on 21. But my guess is I'm going to have to do something with 17. So I'll take a look at that at the end here, just after we do this next pass, and then, like I said, that if I'm doing that, that'll likely be the next episode, because that'll be the next job that happens at some point later on. But once again, I've certainly kind of gone as far as I can go. For now, I need to disengage from Farming Simulator for a bit, and but just wanted to get this taken care of, and found a way to be able to do it, and then it'll all be good. So there's a little tiny piece there that got missed at one point, but there we go. Oops. So, and you can see it's swinging around, but now the back wheels will come down. See, and now it kind of goes back in where it should, because now I'm rolling with 4 wheels. But we're going to go put ourselves into storage here. So yeah, we've got a couple extra pieces of equipment. There may actually be another that we need at some point, a mulcher. But I don't think there's... I think there's only certain crops that require that, so we'll see if and when we use them. We'll worry about that piece of equipment. At this point, I'm kind of letting the map let me know what I need to do. Alright, I think I'll leave this here. It's a little bit in the way, in theory, for the pallets, but yeah, it'll work. So let's see where we're at now after we've done all this. So we're at 129 liters. Yeah, and it won't let me pick this up, so I am going to have to use a forklift. So initially I think I'm just going to basically take them out of the spawn point and then move them But I may not even worry about that, because what ends up happening is if this gets filled and it can't spawn anymore because it's not been moved, like as soon as you clear it, within a few hours they start to appear. So I would just have things happening pretty quickly at that point. I'll probably start doing something with the license plates here just to label them. This equipment looks terrible because it's dirty, but again, I'm not going to just place a pressure washer out in the woods until I've got something to take care of. Alright, so I'm done here. We'll have to refertilize or do that second coat of fertilizer. So let me just check here. Yeah, see, this is withered, so basically there's only a few fields here. Actually, I don't know that there's any anymore that, let's see, 15 and 32, no. But those are cultivated, so yeah, it's basically these light blue fields are the only ones when they come up that I don't need to do anything with. Everything else, I need to touch, because you can see this is harvested. I guess 4 is plowed, so I don't have to do anything with 4 if that comes up. Which I guess is a good thing, because I'm sure once I do 1, I'll be not too thrilled. Yeah, I was looking at, I'm like, that one's done too, but it is. That's mine. But yeah, anything that's harvested or withered has got stuff stuck on it. So I think 23 also is, yeah, if that comes up, I don't have to do anything with that. So very few of them that I can ignore, but there are some, and 17 is not one of those. So that's where we're at. Continue to make some progress here on Shellbrook. We're certainly got a lot of equipment out here. I think it's well in excess of $1 million, given that that tractor itself is basically $700,000. So we know for sure we're there. It's just we might even be approaching $2 million soon. Certainly will be once we have the harvester. So we'll go with that. And yeah, I'm gonna have to, either make a path to this or something when I finally do it, because it's hard to see. Although it's not that hard to find. I mean, it's here in the corner, so we'll see how it all fleshes out as we start to build it out. But we're done with what we can do right now, and I will see you next time.